I'm up in the middle of the night. I finished this book and I want to talk about it right now. I don't want to wait till morning. So this is the middle of the night. I hope my computer doesn't fade out. So, um, please check out my Star Trek Next Gen Friday recaps. Please also check out my Friday if thens if you like this author, then maybe like that author. And please check out Flashback Mondays where I talk about over 60 books. Welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristana. I hope that you will be my friend and like my channel for me, please. I'm trying to learn slang language for my Victoria Thompson series. Obviously, it's not going very well. We're almost finished with the series. And also, John Matthew with the J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood is mute. He's not deaf, but he's mute. So he also does signing. So, anyways, we are doing our daily book reviews of Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series, J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood, and James Patterson's Alex Cross series. Now, spoilers, lots of spoilers here. I I just fill in the sentence for yourself. I just like, just not like, just, and put any word you want. That's my thing. I have this thing when I'm not sure what to say. It's just. And you finish the sentence. When I first saw this book, Alex Cross's trial, I was thinking that it was Alex Cross on trial or participating in a trial or as a witness for a trial or as a jury member for a trial or on trial for something he did as a semi, I don't know what the hell he is anymore. Is he working for DC? Is he working as a shrink? What's he doing? We're not sure. But that's what I was thinking about when I read this, when I saw the title. And this is book 15 in the series. We are reading the book series in order. If you would like to know her noisy identity, please check out Dirty 30 on New Year's Eve. We did all of Janet Ivanovich last year. We did all of J.G. Robb. We did all of Laurel K. Hepter. So, it was none of those things. It was none of the things I thought it was. It didn't even take place in Washington. It wasn't even about Alex Cross at all. And I'm not even sure how it's stated, but it's not specifically stated of what the relationship is. I mean, it's stated, but it's not. I want to know what everybody was killed. They were all killed except for Moody. Yeah, I guess that would be I don't get it. I don't get how there's a blood relation unless the kid was named Moody, who was Moody. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how the relationship is, but anyways, the preface kind of sums it up, and then we'll talk about just a little bit after that. Um, this book is written by the character, Alex Cross. It's not written by James Patterson, the person, but he's writing this book as Alex Cross. So, supposedly this book is being written by Alex Cross, but it's in the point of view of Benjamin Corbett. Alright, I think I got that right. Alright, so this is the and it's just I really don't know what else to say. A few months after I hunted down a vicious killer named the Tiger halfway around the world, and go see that particular video where I really went off on Alex. Who did he think he was? He didn't call the authorities in Africa. He didn't tell anybody he was going. He didn't get backup. He didn't get help. He went there and got tortured and beat up and almost killed so many times. And What for? Did you actually think you were going to go into a foreign country and arrest somebody and get them exported? You don't even have authority in the country. Who did you think we weren't FBI or CIA or anything like that. And even if you were, you still needed to have authority. But anyways, that's a whole different... Please go check out that video, because I ranted. And I'm going to rant again here a little bit, because I just... Our oral history is very much alive in the Cross family, and this is because of my grandmother, Regina Cross, who was known in our household and our neighborhood as Nana Mama. Nana's favorite stories cover the 5 decades while she was a teacher in Washington, the difficulties she faced during those years of civil rights turmoil, and the countless tales passed on from times before she was alive. One of those stories is the one that stayed with me the most. It involved an uncle of hers who was born and lived most of his life in the small town of Endora, Mississippi. But we don't know how Abraham Cross was her uncle. Was one of the finest baseball players of the era and once played for the Philadelphia Pisons. Abraham was grandfather to my cousin Moody, who was the most unforgettable and beloved character in our family. I want to know what happened to Moody, because we really don't know what happened to Moody after the book. So obviously there's a connection in there somewhere. But so this guy, Benjamin, is a lawyer, and I'm sorry, I'm a little on the ignorant side. I am very sorry. I apologize up front. But it took me a few chapters to realize that Benjamin was white. I'm serious. It took me several chapters to realize Benjamin was white. So that was my first plunder, that I didn't know Benjamin was white. And he's having marital issues. And he gets called. He was doing this trial for this lady, and she lost, and then she confesses. Anyways, then he gets called to President Roosevelt. This takes place in 1906. And Roosevelt asks him to go down to Eudora, Mississippi, because there's been lots of reports of hangings down there. And he wants a report on whether this stuff is true. And it's horrific. It's horrific. Now, reading this book, now, when was this? 2009. This book was written in 2009. Can you see this book written in 2020 or 2021? Would you read this book the same way as you read it in 2009? I get the feeling, and I could be wrong, but things were different in 2009. But things have really escalated. There is, how do I put this? If you're raised in a neutral household, then your point of view probably will be neutral. If you're raised in a very mixed environment, you should be really good. But if you're raised in a solid, in a foundation that's totally believes XYZ, and your parents teach you their beliefs, and their total sole focus is like this, then you will probably grow up and have that same focus. And I think that prejudice is taught and learned. It's not something you're born with. If you're born into a neutral environment, then if you're born in a very mixed, very social environment with all different colors and races and, everything like that, you should be a pretty good person. But there are people in this world that grow up in small towns with one point of view, and a lot of people continue with that one point of view, and it's very, very sad, because there's lots and lots of violence just because. To hate a person just because is wrong. To want to kill a person just because is wrong. And this is what happens. I know it's 1909, and it's still, or 1906, excuse me. I know, the atmosphere, and it's all about the Ku Klux Klan and how they were just killing people because they looked the wrong way or said the wrong thing, or, it's just, um, so, um, oh yeah, so the Roosevelt sends him down to, Mississippi, like I said, and he tells Ben, do not tell anybody I'm sending you. And if you tell anybody that I'm sending you, I will, um, deny it, and people will believe me and not you. And it's just, um, what did I say here? It's just horrible what happens here. Um, just an FYI, I was exposed to a very mixed environment, while my town was not a mixed environment. My household was, so that's how I was raised. I was raised with everybody. I had people over my house all the time of different races and ethnic backgrounds. I don't know how my neighbors felt about it, but we were friendly. We had meals and snacks and visitations and all that kind of stuff. So that's the way I grew up with people in my. Um I wasn't aware because of the time frame, because of the lack of the internet. There was no internet when I was growing up. There was no YouTube and Facebook. There was none of that stuff. So I was unaware of stuff until much later in life. Um, but because I was exposed to all stuff, and that's just how I grew up. I was exposed to everybody. Um, so I'm just saying that I get along with everybody. I try to be friends with everybody. Um, but this guy says to Mr. Corbett, he's walking around town and he's kind of scared. He tells Mr. Corbett that the white man doesn't hate the colored. The white man is just afraid of the colored. And I just, I don't like the terminology used in the book, but he uses it, I guess, because it's about that time frame. And it was really upsetting. And at one point, they hang people just for existing. He looked at me the wrong way, so I'm hanging him. A whole family is hanged. Someone is raped, and the father would like justice, and instead the father is hung, and his kids are hung, and little kids are hung, and it gets to the point where it's even our white attorney, Mr. Corbett, is hung, but he eventually frees himself. No one else comes to help him. Apparently, they have, at one point in the book, they have a grandstand set up. They have benches set up and bleachers set up to watch the hangings. It seems to be an annual thing, a, a very reoccurrence thing. Um, I don't know what this page is, but I know this stuff happened, and it's all part of history, and there are some people out there who don't want you to know about this stuff, don't want you to read books about this stuff, but it did happen. And taking down statues and stuff is not going to make it go away. It still happened. It's still part of our history. Not teaching the next generation about our history is wrong, but I don't want to get on that soapbox. But this guy takes him to a Ku Klux Klan meeting, and first he has the thing over his head, and then they reveal his identity to everybody in the room, and everybody else's identity is revealed to him, and then they hang him. And it's just this. I wanted an Alex Cross book. I didn't want a civil rights book. If I wanted a civil rights book, I would have read a civil rights book. I know this horrible stuff happens. If I know this is part of our history, and you can't ignore it. And it's sad how many people were murdered in this book, and it's sad that this probably happened a lot more than we know of down there in the southern states, in Mississippi and Louisiana and Georgia and probably even Texas and Alabama and all those states. This stuff probably happened quite often, and nobody did anything about it, or maybe they tried to do something about it. But I mean, even in the 60s, that church with the kids in it was just horrific. And it's a shame that the prejudices still exist today. It's, could somebody go back in time and prevent those ships from leaving Africa with those people on them? Or stop slavery before it happened? Or maybe pay the people and treat them as servants instead? And then the South would say, their whole economic life was based on the free labor. But the Civil War happened, and it's still not over. There's still some massively prejudiced in this country. Tons of prejudice in our country still exists today. And it's very, very sad, but it's very, very real. And I don't think it's going to go away for a very, very long time. One of my other books that I was reading, some people look through life through rose-colored glasses. Well, maybe they can afford to, but the rest of the world can't afford to deny the fact that the stuff in this book is real. I mean, these may have been fictional events, but I'll bet you 6 ways to Sunday that quite a bit of these may have been based on original events, or just reading the newspaper of that particular time period. I'm pretty sure that this happened often, and this is how life was down there in Mississippi. I can almost see it. So it's a really sad book. I'm reading the Alex Cross series because I wanted a cop, I wanted a detective, I wanted a murder mystery. I didn't want a Ku Klux Klan book. I'm a history person. I love to read about history. But this was just terrific. And I know this stuff happened, and this is real, and it's truth, and you can't deny it. But it's just sad. And I'm trying to read to avoid real life and my real life issues and my real life personal problems and the whole shit. And I'm reading my J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood and my Victoria Thompson and my Alex Cross for enjoyment to escape real life. But this book is depressing as all hell. Seriously depressing as all hell. So, just please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job, and I'm just being honest here. I don't know what else to say. There is a trial in this book. It doesn't go well. There's a whole bunch of lying in it. And that's to be expected for the time period. It's to be expected for the environment. It's to be expected for the people involved. Conspiracy theories run amok. So read it at your own risk, and we're on to the next book in this series. Have a good one.